Hi guys, this is Dr. Joseph from Crystal Jayanti School of Management. Today we are going to use a very important tool called as pivot table. Now pivot table we use to create pivot tables, and the pivot table option we use to create pivot tables and pivot charts, which are very useful to analyze a large set of data. So here I have a set of data which almost has 998 records, and it has almost 12 rows, 12 columns. So it's a big data. Generally, if you use a normal chart or any other tool, it will be very difficult for you to analyze. So here we are going to use this special tool which will help us to visualize this large data in a single sheet. So given how much ever big the data is, but then this tool is very effective. For instance, I'll explain you the data sheet. This particular sheet has data for retail, data for store, which is selling its products across a couple of markets like say Africa, Middle East, Europe, Asia, and 8 markets its product across various countries and across various product categories through 3 different channels: online, retail, and direct. So these are sales details of a certain company, and we also have their cost, sales, and profit. Now when we try to visualize data in graphical format, when we have a huge data of rows and columns, we need to understand another basic concept of measures and dimensions. Measures are nothing but any value which you can measure in quantity terms. So in this data sheet we have a couple of measures, like say units sold is one measure which can be counted. You have cost price, which is a measure, sales is another measure, and profit is another measure, which is also quantifiable. And dimensions are something which are not measurable, but the measure can be represented in different dimensions. So for instance, the sales, which is a measure, can be represented across sales channel. So what is the sales of online channel? What is the sales of retail channel? So the same sales, which is the total sales, can be represented across channels, or it can be represented across product, or it can be represented across markets. What is the total sales in Europe? What is the total sales in Asia? Or it can be represented across the country. These are called as dimensions. The sales or any measure can be represented across the dimensions. And when we speak about dimensions, the another concept which you should understand is called as data hierarchy. Data hierarchy is we move from a higher level of data hierarchy to the lower level of data hierarchy. The higher level of data hierarchy, say for example, if you take the geography as the one of the dimensions, these markets are like Europe, Asia, Middle East. So these are the highest level of data hierarchy in which the measure sales can be represented. And if I break down, suppose if I click on Asia, I can see all the countries under the continent Asia. So I can get different countries under Asia like India. So you can find out, you can represent the measure sales across different countries under this particular market Asia. And same way, when I break through countries, I can further go down to different states. Of course, in this data sheet, I don't have a state level dimension, but if you have, you can represent sales across different states and across different cities. So this is called moving down the data hierarchy from the highest level data hierarchy of say markets, and then to countries, then to states, then to cities, then to branches. So this is the branch will be the lowest level of data hierarchy. So like that we can represent the same sales, so that a top level executive who wants to check the sales of a particular region, it is available. Who wants to check the sales of a particular country, it is available in few clicks. And Even if he wants to find the sales of a particular branch, everything is available for him in one single screen. So generally, we call this as executive dashboard, where we try to represent the complex large volume data in a single sheet in a graphical format, so that the top executive can navigate through with a few clicks of the mouse and a press of the keyboard, and he can understand the entire data very easily. So say for instance, in this data sheet, if I ask you what is the sales of this particular product, super soft 500 ml, in a retail channel in the country India, then you need to do a lot of things to arrive at this value. Say for example, I need to go to the filter option, I need to filter it, and first I need to filter it with respect to the product, which is super soft 500 ml, and then I need to filter the channel as say retail, and then I need to filter it across the country. I need to go to India, and then I need to filter it. Okay, we don't have India, so let us take China, and then when I click OK, now you can see I have the sales of super soft 500 ml through retail channel in the country China, which is this value, in total of this value. So I need to filter all this out, then I need to total it. Imagine if I ask you to find out what is the percentage of contribution of China through this product, super soft 500 ml, then you need to compute the total of all the total sales of this particular product across all regions, and then you need to compute percentage. So it is very difficult if you ask a series of questions from this data and ask you to find. It will take a lot of time. So with the help of pivot table, it is very simpler and it's very much quicker. You can easily understand, you can easily search for data, and you can find the data. So I'll teach you how to insert a pivot table and how to work on this. So before you insert a pivot table, first you need to click inside the table, anywhere in the table, and then you have to click on the insert menu, and then you have to click on the insert pivot table option. So the moment you click on the pivot table option, you can see the entire table is being highlighted automatically, and that is the reason I told you in the beginning to first click anywhere inside the table. If you not clicked inside the table, then you have to manually select it. So here we have A1 is to L999, so that is our entire data set, and then you need to give the location where you want the pivot table to be placed. So pivot table will work both on your existing worksheet, or it can be loaded on a new worksheet. But in this case, since we have a relatively larger worksheet, so I would prefer the pivot table to be inserted on a new worksheet. If it is existing worksheet, you need to give the exact location where you want the pivot table. So I go into the new worksheet, and when I click here, you can see here a new sheet has been created, and then the pivot table is inserted. But of course you don't see any data over there because they didn't specify the rows and columns for the pivot table. So before you insert, I'll tell you this area. So here we are going to get the pivot table getting inserted, and then here you have something called the pivot table fields. The pivot table fields are nothing but each and every item in this particular data table is given in this pivot table fields. You can see here customer ID, customer name, customer country, product sold, product name. So all the list of items are appearing here as customer ID, customer name. So all these things are available. So now we need to select a particular measure and also the dimension so as to prepare the pivot table. So in this case, and then you have 4 different compartments here where you can drop the measure. Generally we drop the measure in the values, and we drop the dimensions in the rows and sometimes in columns. So you need to click and drag, and then you have to bring it to the respective compartments, and you have to drop. And Excel is so beautiful that the moment you click over here, automatically it understands whether it's a measure or a dimension, and accordingly it itself drops the particular item to the respective compartment. When I do, you will understand. So once you do that, and then you will have your pivot table. So it is a little bit different from your normal table. Once we start to do it, you will understand. So say for example, I want to create a pivot table for sales across markets. So first I click on this markets. The moment when I click on this market, you can see here automatically the market is dropped in the rows compartment, and then I have the rows which I created for my table. Or else what I will do is, suppose I want to drop the sales as a measure, then I need to left click and drag and drop it in the values compartment. So that is a manual way of doing it. But when I click over here in this checkbox, you can see here automatically Excel understands that okay, it is a measure, and then automatically it drops it in the values compartment. And in values compartment, what you see here is the sigma symbol. So what Excel has done is, it is in the previous data sheet we have sales for each and every transaction, for each and every customer ID. But then here what Excel has done is, it has summarized the sales data across the regions. It has summed it up and it has given us. So it is giving the total sales. It is also giving the breakup across the markets. So that's that's quick Excel is. If you have to calculate this manually, it will take a lot of time to filter the sales across regions, and then to total it, and then to display it in another table. It will take a lot of time. But this is few button clicks, you are able to represent the data in the form of a consolidated table, and that is the use of the pivot table. And now here I can show you how to insert a pivot chart, which will be much more interesting as well. So before I do that, let me just bring this table a little bit down. So I am selecting the table, cutting it, and then I'm just pasting it a little below so that I can add the pivot chart over here. And before that, let me hide all the grid lines. So I click on the view menu, and I remove the tick mark against the grid line option, so the grid lines disappears. Now another important thing you should understand is, in order to work on the pivot table, you need a menu called as pivot table tools, and the pivot table tools appears only when you click inside the pivot table. Only when you click inside the pivot table, you can see here now I got the pivot table tools, and under which I have two menus, analyze and design. So I have the analyze menu, and also the design menu. But this disappears the moment when I click outside. You can see even the pivot field tools disappear the moment when I click outside. When I click inside the table, now I get the menu, and I also get the pivot table fields pane over here in the right side. So don't search for these tools. The simplest way is just click inside the pivot table. And now I need to insert the pivot chart. The moment I click here, I get this pivot table tools. Under the analyze menu, under the tool sections, I have this button called pivot chart. So I click on this, and then I get the insert chart dialog box, where in this case I am going to select the pie chart because I have the sales information, and I am going to select the 3D pie chart, and I am going to click OK. So here I have my so let me add a couple of rows so that I have sufficient space. Okay, so I can insert the chart here, and then these are called as field buttons, which are unnecessarily occupying the space on our chart area. So you have to right click on this any of the field button, and you have to click on this option called as hide all field button on the chart. The moment I click on that button, you can see the field buttons got disappeared. And then let me just make it a little bigger, and okay, so let me add a title over here. So I'm going to add the title. How to add the title, how to edit the chart, already we have discussed in inserting the chart video. So here I'm going to give the title as sales across regions, across markets, sales across markets, and then I'm going to add the data labels. So I'm going to press on this plus button over here, and when I click on data label, I get the data label, and so this is how we insert the pivot chart. And you can observe here, the moment I click on the pivot chart, I get the pivot chart tools, which I don't get when I click it outside. So the pivot table tools and also the pivot chart tools appears only when you click on the respective items over there. Okay, now what is the beauty of this pivot chart? So here I have the sales which are represented across the markets. I'm going to right click on this column which says sum of sales. When I right click on that sum of sales, I get a small menu over there, and then here I have an option called the show value as. On the show value as, I get a small sub menu where I click this option which says percentage of grand total. When I click on this, you can see here the table automatically, pivot table automatically computed the percentage, and then it has given us. Now I can see which is my good performing region, which is my least performing region. And the beauty of this is, the moment I change here, you can see here the pivot table also changed. Now whatever you see here is, it is in percentage. And imagine if you have to calculate all these things with a pen and a calculator, it's so difficult. So if I have to reset this, I have to right click on the same column over here which says sum of sales. I have to go to show value as, and then I need to click on the first option which says no calculation, and then you are reset your back to the same the original one. So this is how the pivot table and pivot chart works in tandem, and then they serve a lot of purpose. And then I am going to teach you another important thing is, okay, first click inside the pivot table and then go to analyze, and then click on come to this section called as filter. You click on this button called insert slicer. You click on this button, you get the insert slicers dialog box. Again, you see all the fields appearing over here as one of the options. So here I need to select the dimensions. Say for example, I need to select the dimension as say one of the dimensions sales channel, and another dimension as say product name. And then when I click OK, you can see that the slicer appears over here, and then I just arrange this slices here. Reposition it. So I'm positioning the product name here, and I'm positioning the sales channel here. So what is this purpose of this particular thing? So I asked you the question, what is the sales of Supersoft 500 ml for the channel retail? So what I do is I have to click on this product Supersoft. You can see here the charts getting changed. Now what you get is Excel has filtered it out, the sales of only this product Supersoft across the markets. So I have a couple of markets which where the Supersoft product is being sold, and now I am getting the sales only pertaining to Supersoft and not the entire one. When I click on this retail, now you can see I am getting the values here on the pivot table as well as on the chart, which is sales of this particular product Supersoft across the channel, only the retail channel, and across markets I'm getting. So this is how the slicer is very helpful, where you can click on any product and any channel, and then you can find what is the level of contribution of this particular product through this channel. And this is the filter option, nothing but then the name given is slicer. You can slice the data in from different angles, and you can get a view of the data. And then how to reset this filter? You have this clear filter button over here on the head of the each and every slicer. You will just press that once, and then you can see here the filter getting reset, and then your data also getting reset on the pivot table and also in the pivot chart. When I click on the slicer, you can check the menu bar here. Now I get the slicer tool. So all the tools are available, but it will appear only when you click that. When I click on pivot table, I get the pivot table tools. When I click on the pivot chart, I get the pivot chart tools. When I click on the slicer, I get the slicer tools. So this is how we use the slicer to slice the data and see the data from different angles. And then I'm going to add a couple of other measures to this table. So here I have cost, and I also have the profit. So I select the cost and put it under values, and I also select profits and drop it under values. Okay, so okay, it is taking it in the columns. Okay, fine. So here I have sum of sales, sum of cost, and sum of profit. So if I click a product Supersoft 1 liter, I get the sales, I get the cost, I get the sum of profits, everything in one particular click. So this is how this pivot table is useful. And then probably I'm going to add one more slicer, and this time let me add it for a country so that I can get the country level sales as well. So I drop the slicer, I bring this down, and then I drop this slicer to the top, and then I arrange it here. Okay, so my data visualization is almost done. Let me resize this. So I have 7 regions, and just repositioning my slices a little bit so that it is comfortable for me to navigate through. And here I have the last one, which is the sales channel, or rather I'll bring the product name down, and I'll take the sales channel to the top. Then let me resize this a little bit, and then I'm going to expand this because product names are not complete in the slicer. I expanded it, and then let me resize this so that I can make it through. So here we go. So here I have. So here let me give the title as executive dashboard, and then let me just merge all the cells and center it. Let me bold it. Let me give a fill color to it. So I'm going to give a fill color, and then let me add a border to it, and then let me increase the font size. Let me change the font size. So I have the dashboard in front of me. So the question was to find out Supersoft 500 ml in the country China through the retail channel. So I click on the retail, I click on the country China, and then I click on the product Supersoft 500 ml. You can see here I get the data, which is 1,39,998. So it is that very easy and very quick in finding out, in drilling down the data and finding out the exact information what you require. And then as I said, whenever you click on these items, you get the respective tools here, and then you can do a lot of formatting, and you can make it much more colorful. So for instance, when I click on the slicer, I get the slicer tools. I go to options, I have different color coding for that. I can click each and every slicer, and I can make it look colorful. And same way you can do a lot of formatting for this particular chart. And another important thing I want to show you is the conditional formatting option. So let me select this particular column, which is the sum of sales. Leave the header, which is sum of sales, also leave the grand total. First you select this and go to home menu, and under the style section you have this option called conditional formatting. You just left click on that, get a small menu over there, and then you come to this option which says color scale, and then I'm going to select the first option, which is green, yellow and red. So when I click this, you can see here I am getting the color code, which is green color is for high level sales, and red is low level sales, and yellow is medium level sales. So same conditional formatting I'm going to apply to all other things also. So I'm selecting the values of cost price, leaving the header and also the grand total. I'm clicking on the conditional formatting option. This time I'm going to click on the icon sets, and we have a couple of icons over here. So I'm going to select the first one. So you can see here the region of high cost are shown in green color. So let me have it in reverse, so that the cost is displayed in the opposite direction, like the red first, and then we'll take the other things, so that the high cost regions are shown in red color and the low cost regions are shown in comparatively the other color. So I'm going for this one, and then for the last one, sum of profits, same way I'm selecting it, going for conditional formatting, and then at this time going for the data bars, and then I'm selecting this particular one. Probably I'll use a different color. Okay, I'm going for this particular color. So you can see here also I can make a little bit of visualization, and the beauty of this is when I click on this channel, say retail, you can see here even as the values change, even here the color combinations changes according to the values. Since it is a conditional formatting, it changes according to the color and the other formatting over here. So that's how you can make it much more colorful. So here I have done it already for you to show this. So I have formatted the chart, I have formatted the slicers and even the tables over here. So you can see here, if I give the print preview, you can see here the entire data which ran up to a couple of pages. Now you can see it in one single page, and with a few clicks of a button you can get whatever information you need from this data. And this is how we use pivot table. Thank you for watching. Please like, please subscribe to my channel, and write your reviews and join me for the next video. Thank you so much.